Well, it's been called a climate crisis. This past year brought an unusual number of powerful storms and deadly wildfires around the country and really all around the world.
And now information just released by NOAA and NASA confirm that 2019 was the second warmest year on record globally. Meteorologist Ben Gelber joining us right now with how this affects us right here in Central Ohio.
Yeah, it all does is called the ripple effects, and we sloshed through the wettest 12 months on record, and that spanned 2 growing seasons. We are trending milder in all seasons, which brings higher humidity and heavier downpours. The past decade is the warmest on record here in Ohio, reflected in global trends monitored by Ohio State climate scientists.
The last decade has been the warmest decade on record. We have a salvage mission to try to get these records before the glaciers disappear.
Ohio State's Dr. Lonnie Thompson recently climbed to an elevation of more than 20,000 feet in the high Andes of Peru above the fires of the Amazon basin with his OSU team to retrieve ice cores that show how fast our climate is changing. Here at Ohio State's Bird Polar and Climate Research Institute, we have an ice lab where temperatures are 30 below zero, and this is where a record of our climate goes back 800,000 years, all stored in these ice cores. Even small differences in temperature and rainfall can be measured in the chemistry of ancient air bubbles trapped in the ice.
We look at microbes, bacteria, viruses, everything gets archived in the ice.
Lake Erie is normally covered in mountains of ice by the middle of January, but this month is wide open, and rising water levels are causing beaches to erode and homes to collapse along shorelines.
And this is by far the highest water levels we've seen, and is something new that we're trying to deal with. More frequent, really heavy rain events leading to high water levels in the Great Lakes.
Lake Erie drains all of the Great Lakes, which magnifies the impacts, say Ohio State researchers who closely monitor water levels and rising toxic algal blooms in the summer. Now think of those ice cores as a world-class library that allow us to compare past and present weather. Pollen deposited in the ice tells us about ancient plants and rainfall, as well as animal behavior. Dust pinpoints droughts. Meltwater tells us when the weather has warmed. Local for you in the studio, meteorologist Ben Gelber, NBC4.